You're listening to Well, I Laughed, Part 3 of Influential Secrets, Am I the Asshole?
All right. Hello. Happy Wednesday morning. It's dark, cold, and the evening right now, but we're excited to be coming to you. Maya, how have you been?
Well, Grant, we went out for Halloween this past weekend, and I don't know if you can hear it in my voice.
I can hear it in your voice. I can see it in your spirit.
But I'm still feeling it. My body's so old.
We were on top of the world 48 hours ago, and I woke up Sunday morning being like, my lifestyle's such a sin. What am I doing? Why did I do any of that? Had a great time. Turns out my shame actually hunger. So need a little snack.
I want a snack.
How was your Sunday? How was the recovery from Halloween? We can skip over.
It wasn't even that I was like hungover. I was like a little hungover, but it was that I like woke up with a horrible sore throat and was like, is it COVID? No, it's not COVID. I don't have any other symptoms. And then it faded a lot over the day. And I think it was literally just because I told Casey I had a sore throat and he's like, oh, going to bed without drinking any water caused you to have a sore throat. And I was like, you could at least have some sympathy.
When your partner's love language is taking care of you and you woke up because you didn't let them take care of you and they're like, well, you should have let me love you more.
He carried me to bed that night.
That's so sweet and kind of hot.
All I remember, I was like asleep on the couch, and that means he had to carry me up those stairs.
Yes, I know.
And I have a vague memory of looking down, like he's fireman carrying me, so I'm just looking down his whole body and down the stairs, and I'm like, oh my God.
I love that because I realized the way he had to carry you about 30 seconds before you said fireman carry, because I immediately looked at the stairs and I was like, they're not actually that wide. And that's where we keep all the storage panels. So I am like a familiar sound panels. Sorry, that's where we store all the sound panels. So I'm familiar with its like width, and there's no way to like carry you across the threshold. So much like the Finns, he just tossed you over their shoulder. Check out the finish line for more details. And
yeah, exactly. He used to like try and like wedding carry me. Well, he used to do that like in our old place when I would fall asleep. Now he's much less willing to try and carry me places because of these stairs. But yeah, very kind. And then the next morning he was like, ha! Interesting, you don't feel well. And this morning I still have a sore throat, and so I was like, I was just sick.
I was sick, and then you lectured me, and so I got even sicker.
Yeah. Nah.
You probably could have also drank some more water. Yeah,
that's
100%.
fine. I have a hot toddy and orange juice. So between these two things, I'm hoping one of them cures me.
Had to put myself to bed. Totally fine, though. That was great. Had a great time. Stood out in a snowstorm for an hour where the snow hit my head and then immediately melted upon contact. So that was fun. That was one really critical hour during our Halloween Saturday.
It was a long hour.
But it was a great kind of evening overall,
it was
I think.
Fun.
The true
really
festive environment was had wherever we went. And then our dear friend Tyler was doing laundry at my house and then had to put it in the dryer before we left, which meant Sunday morning I got a revisit from Tyler, and he's wonderful. But
did he not stay with you Saturday night?
No, he stayed here, my girl. Oh, no.
He did not.
He stayed at Carly's.
He
stayed at Carly's.
Are you gaslighting me right now?
I don't know. He didn't stay here, and I knew he was headed your way, so I just kind of assumed you were last stop. No, he stayed at Carly's, and so Tyler came over, and it was great to see him, and it's wonderful. And he brought Fritos because I was making chili, and that was great. Well, I was planning on making chili, and then we chatted for a little bit, and then we kept chatting, and the hunger for chili grew inside of me. And
to the point where you can't make chili anymore?
No, to the point where I was like, well, fuck it, I'm going to start making it with you here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm starting to, like, brown the meat and, like, saute the onions and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, I need some chili right now. So, Tyler, you're welcome to stay, but this is meat in it, so I know you're not going to want it, and I need this in my body right now.
Yeah.
Thank you for the Fritos.
That's really funny. I watched him... It was at Lydia's little spooky movie night. He I was eating a piece of candy and he was standing next to me. He's like, oh, that sounds good. And he like picked up a piece of candy. He's like, well, wait, what's in it? And then turned it around and looked at the ingredients and I was like,
I hate him.
I was like, oh, that sounds good. And he like picked up a piece of candy. He's like, well, wait, what's in it? And then turned it around and looked at the ingredients and I was like, Why the hell do you think that's a good idea? Why do you think looking at the ingredients is going to work for you?
You're in America now, babes. We don't read that, all right?
He still does.
The other day he was like, no, there's this thing you can get and it like scans it and then it lets you know if you should eat it or not. And I was like, my stomach lets me know if I should eat it or not. And also, that is from 30 years of negotiation.
It's so funny that he does that for the ingredients because I know what he's talking about and it's meant to track your macros.
Oh, fun. Okay.
And why is he scanning things just for the sake of the app to say, like, not good?
I'm just... Eat the Crunch Bar. The Twix is fine. It's a piece of candy.
You're going to live. Like, of all the things you're probably putting in your body, alcohol being one of them.
Average life expectancy poison. Is 82. And for me personally, that's like a really solid number, you know?
I don't want to live longer than 82.
My grandmother is 96 right now, and she's great. We still talk to her, but it's like, yeah, genetically, we could absolutely overshoot it, you know? So I'm going to eat the candy bar. I'm going to 100% do that. So it snowed on Sunday. It snowed yesterday here in Denver, and my brain just absolutely is a German-Irish peasant in a way that I just cannot fight. Because Sunday made a big pot of chili, like huge, like almost was concerned I didn't have enough Tupperware containers.
Oh no!
For all the chili. Of course I did, but like we
like,
pushed the big ones.
Yeah.
And then had just a little bit of seasonal depression that night. And then today got home from work and was like, potatoes. I must make 2 pounds of mashed potatoes.
That's so good, though. I love that.
I know, because then do you know what dinner was? Was fresh mashed potatoes, and then with some heated chili just kind of like poured in up top. Yeah, little mashed potatoes and chili action. And then tomorrow, tomorrow we're going to eat Chipotle because it's Halloween, and I always eat Chipotle and watch Rocky Horror Picture Show and have just a little bit of a whiskey Coke and then pass out candy to the kids who come.
That's one thing I wish I lived in a neighborhood for, because I just want to pass out candy. I Instacarted this morning or today because Casey's parked. My garage is like a tandem garage, so like when Casey's parked in front of me, I can't leave. And so I was like, I need some stuff from the grocery store. I don't necessarily want to wait. I also don't really want to go, even if I could.
Right.
So this is a perfect excuse. So I texted Casey, like, what do you need? I'm going to Instacart some stuff. And I ordered some Halloween candy because I was going to put, like, a little bowl out there for people as they're walking past. And I, like, get it. I open it. And there's turkey in my bags of stuff. And I was like,
like loose leaf turkey?
No, like a box of, like, deli meat turkey. And I was like, this is the brand that I usually get. But, like, I swear to God I didn't order it because Casey and I just bought like a massive thing of turkey from Costco. Like, we're not buying more turkey.
Sure.
And then I realized that the guy that was doing my Instacart was doing multiple orders and somehow swapped the Halloween candy for the turkey. But I was like, that feels like a little aggressive. Like, you don't actually need that. Here's what you need.
Raising Cane's drop slaw, add extra slice of toast. Yes. That is drop Halloween candy, add low calorie protein.
Yeah, like
it was the Instacart fulfiller, Tyler.
He would never have given me deli meat turkey, though, is the thing. Like,
so true.
Not like fresh cut. It would have been like, because what I had was like boxed, like, it's been processed probably a couple more times than the other stuff.
And that's fine. I want my body also to be preserved, and so I will eat the preservatives.
I don't get enough protein, so I'm going to do it however I can.
I love that.
Anyone out there is judging me, stop.
I love how we got sidetracked in our own story. Anyways, I'm about to make chili 4 different ways this week.
That sounds so good.
It is good.
Are you a chili mac person or a chili person?
A chili mac person? What is that?
Yeah, like chili with noodles.
Oh, no, not really. On Thursday or Friday, I will probably remix the rest of the chili into a bolognese sauce and then put that with some spaghetti, but that's like last thing on the list. It's going to get... Because my family growing up loved to put brown sugar in our chili, a little bit of brown sugar, and then Fritos and then cheddar cheese, and you kind of mix it all together, and you make like basically a casserole in your bowl, and then you eat that. And because I'm from Nebraska... Maya, if you were to have like some kind of baked good to accompany a bowl of chili.
Cornbread.
Right. Not in Nebraska. Have I told you about this before? In Nebraska, universally, the thing you eat alongside it is a cinnamon roll.
What the fuck?
So you don't put the chili over the cinnamon roll, right? So it's a bowl of chili, and then it's a cinnamon roll where you unwind it a little bit.
Yeah.
And then there's like that little crevasse in between the edges, and then you just ladle a little bit of the chili in it, and then like Moses in the cradle, like you like then enter it into your mouth, and it's like the meat and beans makes it chewy, but the crust of the cinnamon roll makes it like crispy. So it's like chewy and crispy. It's spicy from the chili, but then sweet from the cinnamon roll, and it's hot on hot, so it's not a weird temperature thing.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I told 90 students that story today as well. Exact same reaction.
Okay, excellent, cool. My chili mac seems a lot less appalling at this point.
Is it just mac noodles or is it mac and cheese?
No, it's just mac noodles.
Okay.
But like in college, my friend and I were into this. There's like this blog called Budget Bites.
Okay.
And it's all like pretty easy recipes, and it breaks it down by cost per plate.
Oh, nice.
And so it's like really easy to budget on because most of it's like canned stuff. She makes it really accessible.
Yeah, it's
and
like making 2 pounds of mashed potatoes.
Yeah, exactly. But she makes a 1-pot chili mac, and then there's a vegetarian version and then a regular version, and it's so good, and I still live by it. And I know there's like no need for me to be like, I'm frugal. Like there's literally no need for me to do that.
Let me Instacart my Budget Bite ingredients.
15 cans of beans.
So Tyler saw me making this chili on Sunday before he headed back to his place, and it inspired him to make his own chili, but again, vegetarian. So he made a vegetarian chili, and he sent a picture of it to me. And I'll say the picture...
That'd be a lot of lentils.
It was actually an obscene amount of peppers. Just like bell peppers. Just... like a shipwreck that was carrying bell peppers.
Bell peppers are like hard to roast too. Like, did he have to like pan fry them before?
I don't know what his preparation was. I wouldn't call what he produced chili myself personally.
Maybe it's a slaw.
It looked like it looked like a great hot vegetable soup, which I famously always love to make on Friday to clear out all of the vegetables from that week.
Grant is so much more of an adult than I am. I'm like, I have Chef Boyardee in the cabinet. Do I save it or do I eat it now?
Listen, I think you're one of the few people in my life who truly knows how I spend my time.
Yeah.
Who would then say, Grant's so much more of an adult than me.
As far as cooking.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Casey and I can barely like manage to meal prep for ourselves, let alone each other.
Our 2 fridges could not be more different.
I know.
Every like. You guys have a very tidy home, and then you open the freezer, and
That's
you're
so kind of you to say it's
like,
not tidy right now.
It's like relatively. Oh, there's like a couple blankets over the banister. It's fine.
Those are jackets, but yeah. Sure.
Everything kind of clearly has a place, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay,
but then you open up your fridge or freezer, and things just like fall on top of you. Every time I open up your freezer, like my hands are out to catch anything, and that's how you live. You know, that's how Lydia lives, and
how
I love
Casey lives.
Right, that's great for you people. I have at any time 6 ingredients in my house. I'm just gonna kind of make it work.
It's beautiful.
When I was a vegan for 9 months, I became really good at specifically buying the ingredients for the meals I wanted to make that week. But for basically the vast majority of my 20s, I was just going to the grocery store and like running around, and I'd come home and I was like, okay, what do I got? We got stuffed green olives, a pack of Swiss cheese, imitation crab. Like, what the hell am I supposed to cook with this? So, of course, it was just a snack. It was snack again. It was snacks.
Yep. That's what I try and do. I try and get ingredients that are also snacks, because that way I will always have something to eat.
I think back to, like, when I was 24, and I'm like, how did I not develop scurvy? Or like adult onset jaundice? Like, I don't know what I was spending my money on. I don't know what I was cooking or eating. I don't know anything. Everything in my life now feels so intentional. And it just kind of felt like a spinning top when I was 24 years old.
Still how I feel, so. Also, I'm 25, so.
I might have felt that way at 25. I don't know. Everything kind of blurs together once you hit 30. Also, we have not talked about me being 30 recently.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I literally just edited a Patreon episode where you talked about it, like, today.
Well. So anyways, all I'm trying to say is this morning I was getting ready and I saw these cute little green Keds that I have like in my shoe pile, and I was like, I haven't worn these in a while. Why haven't I worn them? I'll throw them on. I mean, it's kind of snowy, so if they get wet, like, it's fine. Like, I kind of forgot. Got home today and I remembered exactly why I don't wear them. It's like having negative back support. Like the shoes, cute as they can be.
There's nothing there.
Flatter than concrete. Yep. And I got home and I had to take 2 ibuprofen before I could start making mashed potatoes. That is 30 in a way I cannot explain.
It's beautiful. I had to take ibuprofen before I started making mashed potatoes.
Because I was going to be standing, because there's like chopping and boiling, and then you got to get the butter and the sauce ready and stuff like that. And then I was also trying to kind of diagnose what was wrong with my dishwasher there for a second. It's kind of like a work in progress still kind of thing going on. But for right now, I'm just going to have to like wash my dishes in the sink, which is fine. I can do that, but my brain is all over the place right now.
Yeah, I feel very reversed from you right now.
Life's honestly really good. Like today at work has been really solid. This weekend was phenomenal. Really speech and debate teacher, I think we know that. So we started competition, and I saw one of my dear friends. I'm only going to do their first name, but I saw one of my dear friends, Betsy, this weekend, and she gave me like a really meaningful gift. Aww. And it was a huge shock. She gave me a black Stanley Cup, like all the Utah moms have. Yes. And I'm like kind of slowly easing into it because I've never had something that can hold that much liquid at the exact temperature I want for all day. And I know that if I fill it with coffee, like my heart, I would die.
You're not going to make it out of that situation.
My heart. So I'm like slowly easing into some fun fruit waters, and we're going to kind of build from there, see how it's going. But I'm very excited about it. So life's good. Work's good. I'm wearing comfy sweaters, and it's dark enough now that when I drive to come record, like the city's already lit up, and things are just nice. There was a moment where I was like driving tonight, and I was like, wow, like I live in a cool place, or at least a place that I think is cool. And it's like I get to drive through it, which is fun. And I get to go do this podcast with my friend. And then like the job that pays 99% of the bills, like that's going really well. Like it really is. Like everything's just kind of clicking. Seasonal depression was beat by several gratitude lists that I made today. If you cannot figure that out.
I can feel the seasonal depression coming. My seasonal depression tends to always hit around my first therapy appointment in November, which is November 1st this year. So,
do you think that's your German's father side kind of coming in?
Probably. I don't know.
Time to be sad and settle in for the winter.
I think it would have hit this weekend if I wasn't like so angry at myself for not being sick.
I'm fine.
I'm fine. Everything's fine. I DoorDashed some intense. And I got some like really extra strength cough drops that like numb your throat, which is why I'm fine right now. But they taste horrible.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was walking the dogs and I like spit it out halfway through. I was like, I can't do this.
It's
not worth it.
Birds and squirrels are going to find it and be like, ooh, gross.
I put it in the trash. They're not going to find it.
Okay. Raccoons are going to find it.
They'd probably be okay with it.
If Casey truly loved you, he would just bring you up a cup of microwavable mac and cheese and some cut up oranges, and that would be his way of apologizing.
Well, he's at an arcade right now. So.
This is actually a running joke that my students have said sometimes. This isn't a perspective I can speak from for myself, but I have heard at times they're like, you know, when you have like an immigrant parent, sometimes instead of apologizing, they will instead randomly give you a bowl of cut up fruit, and you understand that they love you.
If they ever present you with a bowl not at a table,
okay,
that's it. That's how you know.
How many times did your mom bring you a bowl of rice cakes?
Well, she brought one time when I was like really sick, she brought me like this is like the famous Asian mother like sick dish. It's like sticky rice with like chicken broth.
Oh, nice.
And it's like very bland, but it like solves everything.
Right.
And I remember one time that she brought it to me. So
I love you, Mom. I'm going to share this story. When we would come home as kids when we were sick, Mom worked from home. She was like the OG work from home girly, working away on the computer. She would lay out a blanket on the floor and then give us like an old pillow and like some what are they called? I think they're called oyster crackers.
Yes.
And then just a thing of 7-Up. And then we would just have like kind of a camping day on the couch. So not on the couch, on the floor. And I thought that was really nice. And then I got old enough and I realized my mom didn't want us to vomit on the couch if we were feeling vomity. And I cannot actually blame her for that choice.
No, that's super fair.
I didn't let Tyler sleep on my couch one time as a grown adult for the exact same reason.
Like, I'm not cleaning that up. Not.
I looked at him and I go, are you okay? Are you okay? He goes, I'm fine. I go, the couch is white, so you need to be sure that you are fine. Just get on the air mattress. The air mattress is plastic. Just do it now. Just get on. You don't have to be woken up in the middle of the night. Just get on the air mattress.
I can't handle that.
Because it's too true.
He's really not good at telling when he's drunk.
Can you tell that Tyler has also now moved back to Colorado and we see him a lot more? He's featured in our stories now.
Yeah, for better or for worse.
Oh, we're thinking about going snowshoeing on Sunday.
He just texted me like an hour ago that was like, do you want to go to the mountains on Sunday? And I was doing something else, so I haven't responded.
Well, you want to go to the mountains or something?
It depends on if I'm like feeling sick still.
I hear that.
Yeah, I would love to.
See, as a man, I never get sick, but when I do, I am sure I'm on the verge of death. Yeah, 100%. I talked to everyone about it. I can't say it out loud, but I do expect cards. Right?
I just want Casey to wait on me hand and foot, and he had the audacity to go into work today. How am I supposed to take care of myself in these conditions? Also, I was supposed to have, like, I've mentioned this before that I'm, like, in between projects at work, so everything's really slow. And I was supposed to have something that was supposed to be, like, all day today, all day tomorrow, as, like, kind of a big project for me for, like, 48 hours, whatever. But we had, like, a meeting this morning to talk it over, and one of the guys on the meeting, I love him dearly. His name is Ed, but he was like, we cannot keep doing this for our client. They keep asking for shit, and we can't keep giving it to them because they need to, like, they didn't tell us any of this ahead of time. This isn't busy work. This is a big project. He was like, I've never seen this man pissed ever. He's Canadian. Nice. He's like very level, very like calm, cool, collected all the time. And then today I saw him like lose it for a second. And I was like,
King.
I was
love
like,
it.
yeah, okay, like Jesus.
He's enforcing a boundary, and I love that. He is,
and I do love that. And I like tease him. I was like, Ed just doesn't like me. He doesn't want me to have work. And he was like, oh my God, no, Maya. And I was like, oh, I was kidding.
We are definitely at the point now at work. Teachers, hopefully you are at this point too, where everything that was planned in the bright sunshine of August now meets the cold, dark reality of November. It's like, it does feel like the arc of Game of Thrones. Like, I completely understood why we designed all the systems the way we did, and I understand the objective of most of them, regardless of what my opinion might actually be on them. But now that it's November, every day it just kind of feels like several of our admin are holding onto the ground so the school doesn't fly away. And it's not unique to this year. I'm getting close to a decade in education, and honestly, we're better attached this year than a lot of our years.
Oh my God.
But it's just kind of like, oh, doop, doop, doop. I don't have to call admin to my classroom because I have enough experience to like have some classroom management skills. And so, boop, boop, I'm going to be ignored. Boop, boop, boop. Like, I am number 87 on their list of priorities today, and you never get that far down the list. I know, because my list is that long, and I never get that far down on the list.
They're like, Grant, yeah, he's...
Here's the season that I'm in. I'm in the season of, Mr., have you graded our essays yet? No, I have not. But we should probably have that whole thing wrapped up before Thanksgiving. Which, since I realize this is about to come out before Thanksgiving, it's October right now.
Yeah, this episode is coming out the day before Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving.
And here I was talking about gratitude. Yeah. That's fun. Because actually, I was in that story, and I know I just have not shut up for the last 8 minutes. I had one more gratitude, actually, that I wanted to share. Yeah. One of my dear, dear friends, I'm going to use her first name, Riley, is coming into town this week. And we're just going to have a ball. We're going to go to Meow Wolf together. Riley is the one... She loves dogs, so this is actually really appropriate.
Jesus. There's no one there.
Riley's the one that got stranded in the desert outside of Las Vegas with me.
Oh, yeah,
She was Jules LeBlanc, and I was Booty McGee. Yes. We might have actually talked about this on the Patreon, so if so, I will then share this other tidbit of information. Riley and I became friends freshman year of college. But I met a lot of blonde women those first couple of days. Yes. And so when one of our floor mates came up to me in the elevator one morning, they said, "Oh my God, Grant, I had the craziest dream. I dreamed last night that you were trying to kill me." And I was like, what? That's so weird. Because even when I was 18, I didn't have that kind of energy. You know, I have never been a masculine man.
Who, me?
And so I just, logged on to Facebook and typed out a little message on my status. "We'll try not to kill Riley in her sleep tonight." And Riley was not the person that talked to me in the elevator. So she woke up to a weird, ominous not threat. And that happened, 12, 13 years ago. And I was in her wedding last year. I love her to death.
That's
so
really cute.
In the season of gratitude, this will be published after her visit, but I'm excited to see you, girly.
Is she the one that follows us on Instagram? Is she like Rex?
She will react, like, and she also is actually a member of our Patreon, so she's probably heard a portion of the story. She's a real one. She is amazing. We have some secrets that we cannot share outside of me and her, and that's the strong foundation of our friendship.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this one. Okay.
Do you have something pulled up and ready to go?
Yeah, but you can go first if you want. I don't care.
No, it's great. Go right ahead. Oh, you know what I was also thinking? If we go snowshoeing on Sunday, we should also try to hit up a hot spring on the way back. Rest these weary bones.
I would love that.
Maybe we should just do a hot springs.
That also sounds really great.
What if you and I go to a hot springs and
Tyler
then we drop them off,
and then when they meet us,
That
sounds great.
Yeah, I think actually they drop us off because
they need the car.
Correct. And I think at a certain point
we're not getting out.
I'm not going to be able to drive.
I'm very interested in that.
I love what we just said. It's also okay because when this gets published, we will have already done this activity.
It would have been fine.
Move to Colorado. It's a really cool place to live.
It's a really cool place, and especially when you're a little in seasonal depression, there are outdoor things to do that don't require you to sweat, and that's really great.
It is really great.
Yeah. I actually found these during the day because my work was slow.
You were just laid up in bed. Well, I guess I'll do my homework.
Oh no, I was sitting right here, but I had my weighted blanket over my shoulders.
No, Grant, I had descended to my blanket kingdom on the first floor.
No, sweetie, that's not how you use the word stark. We have some of our clients for work make us sign NDAs, and they don't want us to tell people that we're working for them, and so they get nicknames.
Nice.
I don't know if they come up with the nicknames. I think we do.
Okay.
And so that's how we refer to them. And during our weekly meeting today, one of the project updates was for one of those companies, and their nickname is Stark.
Okay.
And it's just so obvious, to me, who they are, because I know who they are. I don't understand why. I'll tell you. Yeah, it's a whole fucking thing. But the entire time, they were like, we signed a serious NDA. And then they started talking about all the shit, and I was like, you're kind of giving it away here, Brad.
I'd like to solve the puzzle.
Yeah, I'd like to solve the puzzle. Anyway.
All right.
I am the asshole. Am I the asshole? I actually don't know. Okay. Am I the asshole for uncovering my mother-in-law's secret?
Shit, I pulled the same one. I'm kidding. I just wanted to see your face. I'm sorry. It's an audio medium that was just for me. I've been meaning to do it for a couple Am I the Assholes now. I love it. Sorry.
The answer would have been too bad. Pick a new one.
Oh, I know. And actually, because I do have a little low-lying anxiety about that, I try to always pick two.
Oh, I do too.
Okay, cool. Hold on. Can you hit me with that title again, please? Cool.
Am I the asshole for uncovering my mother-in-law's secret? I love it. This one's juicy. Okay. I, 25 female, gave birth to my daughter 2 months ago, and despite my husband, 28, telling me he knows I'd never cheat on him, I wanted to give our daughter a paternity test. The reason is that she has green eyes. Me and my husband don't have green eyes. My parents don't either, and neither do my in-laws. No one in my family has them. My husband said it was probably some weird genetic thing, but I wanted the test for his peace of mind. He kept refusing because he trusts me, but his mother keeps commenting on her eyes, as do the rest of his family, who keep making comments about me possibly cheating. Even my family finds it odd that our daughter has green eyes. My husband said to ignore them because he knows I'd never cheat, but I finally had enough of his family's comments and told him I wanted the test. He only agreed to get me to calm down, and our daughter is his, but father-in-law isn't my husband's father.
Oh, shit.
My in-laws have been married for decades, so the idea that my mother-in-law cheated on my father-in-law never crossed either of our minds. My husband wants to confront his mother, but I'm telling him to wait, that yes, she's a liar and a hypocrite, but we need to think this through. Yes, I agree my father-in-law should know, but we're both tired from taking care of a newborn. We found out something shocking and we're not thinking rationally. He wants to tell his father, and so do I, but the fallout will be apocalyptic. I just wanted to give him peace of mind, and instead I started the end of his parents' marriage and possibly blew up his family. Am I the asshole for forcing a DNA test and finding out about this can of worms?
Oh, we should have put that last. I am not going to be able to top that story.
That's so juicy.
Shocking.
I know.
I have... Okay. I don't even know where I need to start here first. I'm going to start with...
There is one edit really quick.
Okay.
They did 2 tests. For those of you wondering, a paternity test usually just tells if they're the father. They also did 23andMe, and that's how they uncovered that the affair.
Okay.
There you go.
I'm going to start off with what I think is the shorter answer of the two. Currently, in my mind, if there is fault, it lies with her husband, who refused to enforce a boundary in the way his family was treating his wife and newborn baby. If the harassment is bad enough that your wife is like, I need scientific proof that I didn't cheat on you. If the harassment's that bad, you have not communicated to your family that they've crossed the line and that they want if they want to stay active in your life and this baby's life, get on page or get out.
That's a good point that I didn't think about.
The very first reaction is husband grows a little bit of a backbone and names this boundary as deeply inappropriate to be sane, especially if he believes his wife. Like it said in the post.
Multiple times. Yeah.
Right, 100%. You needed to have cleared that up, right? Like obviously it's 2 families coming together. You are the spokesperson for you unit with that portion of the family, and you gotta go to bat for your partner.
Yeah, that's really true. My initial reaction was that mother-in-law's an asshole, but that might be my familiar trauma.
No, I hear. I'm on that page too.
I think they are the asshole, but I think you're right. The faults or like some of the lack of action there lies with the husband.
Okay, so then here comes my next, maybe longer response.
Okay, I'm ready.
I don't think they should tell the dad.
Really?
No, I don't think so.
Imagine if they're on Reddit and they see this.
Imagine if they're one of our followers and they're like, wait a minute, my granddaughter has green eyes,
and we always thought that my daughter-in-law cheated.
Yeah. Love our ability to instantly be comedic. Yeah, I actually do not know what they think that would improve.
Yeah.
In that situation.
I think I might approach mother-in-law first, because at some point, like, I don't know how I would feel keeping that in and like not telling anyone. But I think like at some point you need to be like, hey, mother-in-law, like, I don't want to say the jig is up because like this is your relationship, but we want you to know that we know. Right. And you also need to fucking, like, your actions ultimately caused us uncovering this. Right. And I think maybe that's just me being, like, petty and revenge-oriented. But, like, I would want her to know that, like, it's not, like, I don't know. She hasn't kept it a secret.
Yeah, I think, wow. I mean,
I don't think it's right to just go to the father-in-law and be like, your son's not yours, right. You know, because he's raised him, ultimately.
I think OP, it actually doesn't get a vote here, as I think about it even more.
Yeah, it's not her choice.
Her husband needs to decide if he is so compelled to share this information that he's willing to fundamentally change his family dynamic for the rest of his life. Mm-hmm. Because this information is going to damage a bunch of relationships. Yeah. And part of me is a little bit like, if I'm the father in that situation, like if I'm the grandfather who doesn't know, I don't think I want to know. Right? Like, I think I want to continue to believe that I'm living happily. I think I'm just assuming that the affair is probably not still happening. I mean, you can't do an affair for like 20, 30 years without it like eventually being discovered, you know? Also, like, what if dad does know? And now all this shame comes to the surface. There's like...
That's why I think they should approach mother-in-law if they're going to.
No, I don't think so either. I think you just kind of keep it. I think you just kind of let it die. And I'm usually all about like openness and like vulnerability and like express yourself, but it's like if you share that information with mother-in-law, that's going to then always weigh on your guys' relationship too.
But wouldn't it already hurt the like husband in this situation because he knows now that his father is not biologically his father, and then there's some chance that the father then notices that shift in the relationship and has no explanation for it.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, potentially. I think that might be a bridge that you cross when you come to it, though, right? I mean, it sounds like the mother-in-law and father-in-law are like fairly involved in these people's lives. If they're seeing the baby and like making repeated comments on it, which isn't good, but it's like, I'm glad you guys are miserably happy together, you know? And it's like, if you share that information with father, whole world crumbles. Is that a cool thing to do?
No.
Is this information ultimately going to help him with anything? If you share that information with grandma or with mother-in-law, who's about to be a grandma, then there's suddenly this a lot more distance in, and then this daughter grows up being like, I don't understand why I'm not closer with those grandparents on that side. And then you have to kind of explain that too. I mean, I do think sometimes ignorance is bliss. Like, I think no one necessarily knows the full story, and I do not think truth in the sake of truth alone is always the highest good.
My only concern would be that he would find out somehow of his own accord, and then it would hurt even more that everyone else knew and he didn't.
And he didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're playing odds, though. I think it's like the fear of that is less than the fear of... And also, I mean, if dad does find out, you don't have to share that you knew. It's not like it's a game show where you have to like flip your board over and like prove that you knew, right? You can be just as shocked and there to support dad. And if dad does find out, it's because mother-in-law, who sounds like a real pill at times, slipped up in other ways too, and things like that. And then it's still about them too.
I think I think it would probably depend a lot on each of their personalities, like as a whole, because you're playing the game of like, does he want to be able to choose for himself, or do you think he would rather just be happy?
I don't know if the idea that all of us would be happy if we had all of the choice in the world is real or not.
I think I would prefer to know, like if it were me in that situation and I was father, I would absolutely like, my relationship with the people that knew would be irreparable, just because I wouldn't have that trust anymore.
Sure.
And I don't know like what else, like my brain would be like, okay, well they kept that from me, what else are they keeping from me? And so I think it depends on like the person.
It's really interesting because I am absolutely the exact opposite. If I'm dad and I think world's perfect and I'm a new grandfather and I am married to this woman that I've loved forever and you know,
I bet there's a chance that he knows.
I mean, maybe, right? A little bit.
I feel like it would be hard to cover that up for that long.
Yeah. But like,
but then they wouldn't be making that like argument like, oh well, your wife cheated.
Right.
Yeah.
And do you think she is the first? What is mother-in-law doing sharing that? Or is there a chance that mother-in-law isn't entirely sure if he's the father or not? All of this is to
Mamma Mia situation.
Right? I go, oh my God. Yes. Here we go again.
Mamma Mia.
100%. Like,
here we go again.
I had a fling a couple of times, but for the most part, never was like. I
never like had a strong affair. And, like,
right.
Yeah. I was always sleeping with my husband.
It was one conference. I had too many drinks, and we went upstairs, and then the son looked just like him. So it was same eye color and everything. So I just assumed
same eye color and everything.
That's the whole premise of it, right? Same eye color and everything. He's his, and that's fine. You know.
There was one time where I was in Japan with my mom, and I think it was like late high school maybe, but I was like talking about how I wished I didn't have brown eyes, and I was talking about like, oh, I wish I had dad's green eyes or something like that, and I don't remember what else I was talking about, but my mom like deadass tried to like leave me in Japan. She was so mad at me. And I
You are welcome.
I was like, I don't speak the language or read anything. Like, how do you want me to get home? I was like chasing her through this like very crowded Japanese market. Like, no, I'm sorry.
I hadn't realized this was a ignore me for the rest of my life kind of comment.
Ironically, it wasn't. I did find the one later.
Oh, okay. It's like a terrible game of Minesweeper.
Which one will do it?
A lot of ones in this area. It's like 27 when I first finally learned the rules.
That's
of
really
that
true.
game.
You don't learn Minesweeper until you're an adult.
No, you do not.
You do as a kid. You're like, wow, why did the game end?
It is actually the easiest test for gifted and talented because it is to determine your ability to pick up patterns,
it's just
like
a
repetition.
Puzzle. It's not even an intelligence thing. It's like if you're good at patterns.
No, agreed. If you are able to identify the pattern,
that's it.
You're probably gifted and talented. Or
why? Why did she do this? Whatever. Yeah, I hate it.
what was it? Oh, we were talking about eyes. Therefore, we've been talking about eyes. Several of you, honestly, have been very kind and pointed out that I have what you think are nice eyes, and that's
all right. Fuck you guys.
Okay, and that is very kind. And the first couple comments, just maybe a smidge skin suity. You know what I mean? Kind of like thanks, and I like them just where they are. But I do have
skin suity.
Yeah.
No, I know exactly what you mean, but that's.
And I like them just where they are right now.
My boyfriend, right before I met Casey, always talked about how soft my skin was, and I was like, Grant just almost choked.
100%, almost drowned. Does not take that much water.
Too soon.
Completely forgot that had happened. Boyfriend's soft skin.
Yes, he used to always talk about how my skin was so soft, and it did get kind of skin sooty there towards the end, where I was like, okay.
So my response, and this would not have helped you in your situation, I want you to know, but my response now, which is true and feels just appropriate to put out, is whenever anyone's like, oh, Grant, like, I love your eyes, I always go, oh, thank you. I think they're my mom's eyes. Like, I definitely get my eyes from my mom's side of the family as well. Dad, who knows what that color is, but my mom's are blue and so are mine.
Look at them.
It's an audio medium, but I am staring at the camera right now. Anyways.
All right.
Should we wait for Bowser to stop
Bowser needs
hoovering up his own water?
He really can get through a bowl really fast.
Yeah, he just pushes it all out, and then he's there. Actually, he's going to give me a second, because I picked two. Our next little story. Am I the asshole for keeping a secret storage unit?
Oh, I did see this one. I didn't read it.
Okay, I was like, I can bring the other one.
No.
My wife and I moved in 6 years ago after 3 years of dating, so 9 years together total. When I moved into her place, she didn't want a lot of my stuff in there because either she had it already or deemed it as junk. She didn't want my posters, my toys or action figures, and a bunch of other things. She wanted me to get rid of it. I tried appealing to her and find a compromise, but she was unwavering in her stance. I almost gave them away until my friend just told me to just put it in a storage unit since it wasn't a lot of stuff and they held significance in my own life. There were things I've had since I was an undergraduate and remind me of different times in my life. I've always been nostalgic and never wanted to throw anything out because I feel like these items are memorable or memorabilia from another part of my life that's never going to come back. So, everything went into the storage unit. I started with a locker, but now I have a 5x10.
Holy shit!
Our friends own a mini storage facility. That's like not a small bill. It's manageable, but you're not like it's like $8 a month.
No, it's like at least 100.
Yeah.
Like I have a storage unit that might be about that size,
100%.
and it's like 150 a month.
Anyone who's like, I'm just going to move into a storage unit to save money on rent, I'd check out prices of storage units before you make that call.
And you don't even get like AC in some of them, guys.
Okay, so, but now I have a 5x10. Not because I have that much stuff, but because I like to spend some time there, so I didn't actually read all of this. It's like first two sentences, last two sentences, like I'm on the SAT. I like to spend some time staying in there and just go down memory lane every now and then. I do it once a month or once every 2 months. I even got things from my parents from my childhood to put in there. My wife has always been the practical one and never kept things unless they were super important or had major significance in her life. She would honestly just throw out like 90% of the things in the unit, if not all of it, so I always told her that I take care of the things she didn't want to keep. So basically what he said was like, why would just throw everything away? So whenever she wanted to throw something away, he's like, hey, honey, I'll take it. No worries. You've had a stressful day.
Puts it in the storage unit. Jesus.
Even now when I make purchases, I know she won't let me keep. They basically go to the unit first.
They just live there?
He's slowly actually building a second life. He doesn't see it that way, but he is just slowly
building out a life, yeah.
Recently, my wife has been asking our kids to get rid of the toys they no longer play with. But you know kids, they don't want to do that despite the fact that they don't really care for their old toys. They don't want to get rid of it either. They were so upset and crying all day. So I basically donated the toys that went untouched for most of the toys' life and were still in good condition. But then I kept the worn out ones in my unit. I took my kids there with me to show them the toys and told them not to worry, and I will take care of the toys for them. Very sweet,
you a hoarder?
Absolutely wild thing to say.
On behalf of your children.
I want to remind you too, they met 9 years ago. So even if they had the baby 9 months after the first time they met, he's talking to an 8-year-old, and they said kids, so then younger than that.
Oh my God.
Hey, don't worry. Anything you like, I'll hold on forever.
That's skin suity.
Yes, it is. Well, when we get home, they were all happy and cheery. When my wife asked them what's up, they spilled the beans.
Yeah, of course you don't tell your children.
You don't show them it either.
Yeah, what the fuck?
This next sentence. I never told them to keep it a secret, but at the same time, I didn't expect them to squeal. My wife was very angry and demanded to see the unit. I showed it to her, and as expected, she deemed all of it as junk and wanted me to get rid of it all. I refused because I'm the one paying for it. We have separate finances, and this doesn't affect her in any way. Now, she's not talking to me, and everyone has been bashing me for keeping such a big thing as a secret from her.
Yeah.
I just wanted my own space/den. I probably shouldn't have hidden it, but I know she would never have approved of it, and I didn't want the unnecessary drama. Am I the asshole?
A little bit, yeah. The fuck? You're fine to keep your own, stuff, but that's a boundary you should have set when she was like, hey, throw all this shit out. Instead of 9 years later, you're like, oh, by the way, I didn't throw any of that out. What the fuck?
Okay, hear me out, though. All right, so I hear you on the, should have talked to his wife about it.
Yeah.
I'm agreed with that. And that also maybe the wife needs to make some kind of understanding, some kind of an agreement.
Yeah.
This actually does feel like a good solution. Not the secret part, but a
storage unit.
I don't know if that makes him an asshole or just kind of a lazy partner.
Just kind of stupid. What?
I'm trying to use a different word, but yeah.
I have a storage unit basically because I'm not a hoarder by any means, but there are when I grew up in Colorado and then my parents moved to Florida when I was in college, and so they decided to leave me with a bunch of my childhood stuff that they didn't want to lug around for the rest of their life, especially when it's my sentimental stuff. So I do have bins of my childhood stuff that obviously I don't need here with me, especially when storage is limited because we live in a relatively small townhouse.
Right.
So I have a storage unit and I put all the shit in there that I don't need to look at every day. And then every once in a while, Casey's like, hey, can we clean some of this out and put it in the storage unit? It's always my stuff. Casey has about exactly 2 crates in there, 2 tiny little
And then he has 1 crate here, and that's what that man lives out of?
Yeah. He's like, why do you have all this? I'm like, don't talk to me.
Oh, he doesn't have any makeup or hair products?
You done?
Probably.
You want to take off your hat and show them your hair?
No. I didn't have time to shave this morning. Set an alarm for an hour early and then just kept hitting snooze every 5 minutes for a whole hour.
I woke up because my throat was so sore at like 7 or 6:30 or something like that. And then I was just like sitting there on my phone waiting for like the cold medicine to kick in. And then Casey's alarm started going off at 7. And then we both did not get out of bed until like 8:30.
Both awake, both kind of disgruntled. Neither one of you speak.
Yeah,
love it.
Exactly.
I have a house where that's where I just keep all of my stuff, and I have no intention or ability to move ever again. So that's kind of where all the stuff stays.
Yeah, once I get a house, it's all going into like a shed or some shit. I'm not paying for that anymore.
Jacob and Lydia own a storage facility, and it's so great because it's so clear that storage is their passion. The savings alone from owning the storage units that they use, tremendous.
That's actually super fair.
They I'm going to talk a little trash on them. I love you too, and you know that. They own a 3-stall garage and pretty regularly can only park one car in it. Now, before you have an image of Jacob and Lydia, they are not hoarders. And that's not said with any sarcasm. Truly not hoarders. But there's like an exercise bike and then like a beer pong table and there's a garage fridge in there and there's like 3 rugs for some reason.
Yeah, I've been over there several times. Right. I've never once seen a car in that garage.
It's just like kind of big stuff. It's not like it's like 100,000 items.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh yeah, okay. You see it like there's like their car topper. I think they own a kayak. Like it's just all in the garage, you know?
Kayak makes a great seat when you're watching beer pong.
It really does, though. I mean, I can't sit on plastic like that. I will break it. But yeah, I don't actually think this man's an asshole. I just think he's a sentimentalist.
I think he's an asshole in that he did not know how to communicate with his wife like a big boy.
Agreed.
And like, I don't think he's an asshole like for keeping the stuff. Right. I think he's stupid for telling his kids and expecting them to keep it a secret.
That did seem foolish.
He was like, I didn't tell them to not tell anyone.
Old as that could be as a not the right age to trust them with a secret. Don't tell your mom.
Yeah,
that's
especially
insane.
Don't tell another parent.
Right,
like,
exactly. Don't tell another parent that I'm secretly holding all of your favorite toys for you.
Also, it's weird that he's hoarding things for other people. That is weird. Like, if your kid says, yeah, okay, throw it away, I can get it because if it's a kid, but he was saying he was doing that with his wife too.
What I love about this whole story too is that it is the exact dynamic of my own parents. My dad wasn't allowed a storage locker. My dad was allowed the attic above the garage. And that's also where we had to store some other stuff too, right? But I do remember for a couple years we had what was honestly probably like a 50-pound computer desktop and like hard drive or whatever stored up there. I think we had an old microwave up there at one point. My dad is definitely like remember we went to like that event in this, like we should keep it. And my mom's like, it doesn't even fit, burn it.
See, I am your dad. I am the man in this situation. Casey is anyone else.
I have to be both. Things have like a tremendous amount of like sentimentality to me, but also everything in my house needs to have a home or I'm annoyed by it. And
I just decided to adopt maximalism. And that's how I've survived.
This is a pretty harmless story. This is a great story. This is a wonderful story. I don't even know if I've told you the story.
Oh God.
So I am 22 in the story and about to move from Lincoln, Nebraska, where I was born and raised and went to college, out to California. I'm officially moving away. It is a big move. And I'm the first one in my immediate family to move away. And only like the third of my cousins on my mom's side to move away. And there was like 30 of us, right? And so it's like kind of a big deal, but I'm off to see the world. And we do this little dinner like 2, 3, 4, 5 days before I move. Yeah. And it's very sweet. It's me, my parents, and my 2 siblings. And there's like a little card from my parents, stuff like that.
That's
my
cute.
sister brings a box and gives it to me. And she is...
there a chandelier in it?
No one's going to get that reference.
No, but it's funny.
But that's so funny. And I'm sorry, friends, I cannot tell you that story. She hands me a box, and it's a wooden box that you'd kind of get from like a TJ Maxx or Marshall's. Yeah. And it just says memories on it. And I slide the box open. And first, there's several small things I had been looking for like upwards of a month now in that box. what my loving sister had been doing to process her own, like, kind of grief over me moving was just going into my room that I was staying in at my parents' house and taking small things of mine and then giving them back to me at the Red Lobster in downtown Lincoln. And that in and of itself is kind of wild and kooky, but a sign of how much my sister loved me. It's also relatively normal. Yeah. And so that's not the only thing that was in the box. Yeah. There is a small little blood vial. Oh but God, Jesus Christ. Instead it's filled with dirt from the backyard.
What the fuck?
And there's like a rock in there. Also from the backyard. There are some very sweet magnets of pictures and things like that. You open the box, and while it's a lot of strange things staring at you, it is so clearly made with love. And I wanted you to know, the stuff is funny. I'm not making fun of my sister. I am making fun of the gift I was given. Because the piece de resistance is I hold up this little baggie, and I go, whose hair is this? It was our family's cat. My sister had gone up to her while she was sleeping and cut some of her hair off and put it in a bag and sealed it. And then put that in the box along with the things she'd stolen from me and dirt. And I say all that because it's such an insane collection of things that there'd be no way I could explain it, that I still have the box and all of its ingredients in my house, which means, because that baby cat is still alive, that I singularly possess the ability to clone it. I can't believe I never told you that story.
I love that. You, a bald man holding up a bag. Whose hair is this?
Well, I have hair at the time. I have not shaved my head yet. It's crazy
funnier
to think,
if you're bald.
I know. It's crazy to think that there was a time where I wasn't bald.
I've seen pictures of Grant with hair, and I did not recognize him. I think Lydia had to be like, that's Grant. I was like, oh, God.
I have absolutely Benjamin Buttoned my 30s, and I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is I kept
That's hysterical.
I kept that whole box. I took the things that I wanted back out of it. But I still have the rock. I still have the magnet pictures. Some of them were on my fridge for quite a while.
Oh.
The magnet glue kind of started to fall off, so I just put them back in the box. Still have the jar of dirt. Still have the bag of hair. My sister's at times unpredictable, but I know she loves me in her way.
Yeah. You know? It's so funny.
That might be the first time in like the 6 months we've been publishing that I've shared a single story about my sister.
It feels like in the sitcom there's always that one like female or male character that like is like figuring out how they show their partner that they love them, and at some point it comes to a climax and they run into their room and they pull out a shoebox and they're like, this is the ticket from the first time we went to the movies. This is like the first time.
It's so clearly that's what my sister is reaching for.
It's like that, except
it's a bag
one step towards skin suiting.
It's 100%. Are these mom's eyes?
She told us she liked them where they were. Oh God, that's hilarious.
It is still to this day perhaps the most meaningful gift anyone has ever given me, other than a compliment.
All right.
And it's insane, and I kept it because I am my father's son.
Yeah.
But otherwise, my house, for the most part, everything needs to have a place, and it gets about a month to find a place. And then if it doesn't, well, then off to the next adventure.
If it doesn't, it gets framed and put on my wall.
That's so true. Good luck to any bug that ends up in here.
Oh, you'll get lost real fast. I've made sure of it. This is also the piano that I learned how to play piano on when I was a child.
Cute.
Yeah, because my mom played piano for a while, and then she kind of stopped when I learned, and so they had no need to keep one.
Okay.
Well, she still played every once in a while, but I think she can. It was hilarious. She would like not play for like 2 years, and then I ended up getting a lot of her like music books.
Sure.
And so they're like Chopin and like Beethoven and stuff like that. And she would like pull them up and just be like, blah, 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 and I was like, what the fuck?
Don't you love like parents' hidden lore? You're like, what on earth?
But I was like, I live with you. I know you have not touched this piano in 5 years. Because we had this one, and then for a while we had not a baby grand, but like a real piano.
Sure.
And she would do it on that, and I'd be like, where was what?
Where's this coming from?
Where's this coming? Also, why haven't you missed a note in the last like 2 pages? What the fuck? I don't touch a piano for like 2 weeks, and I'm like, twinkle, twinkle, little, like what the hell? That's hilarious.
I found out our parents, I think on like Facebook Marketplace, the most undignified marketplace to get rid of something.
But the best.
Yes,
Buy something.
Buyers, yes. Sellers, oh, babes. Got rid of the kitchen table that was my childhood, essentially.
You saw an ad for it?
No, I found out when I got home one time. I was like, oh, you changed tables? Where is it? And I goes, I don't know. We sold it to somebody. I think I might be skipping a few steps. I think we were told, if you want this, get it now, or we're getting rid of it. And I was like, well, where would I put it in my house? And my parents were like, all right. And so they sold it. And I was like, no.
Wait.
I learned how to spell kind of at that table. Do you know how many small miniature planes I put together as a weird 13-year-old at that table? And you're going to sell those memories?
God.
Do you know how many times I cleaned that table after the parties I secretly hid when you were out of town?
And your dad, meanwhile, was like, I get it.
I get it.
I wanted to keep it too.
It didn't fit in the attic. We tried the long way, we tried,
Just didn't fit.
It was too big to fit in your box of memories.
Also, your mom wouldn't help me get it up the stairs. So
that's real unreal. One time my dad was organizing the attic, and because it's just like plywood that we like nailed up there, like all Midwestern garage attics. And my dad's foot just came through the ceiling. Not my entire dad, thankfully, but just like almost like cartoon foot through ceiling for a second.
Like in The Office, the fire safety where Oscar comes out. It's just legs dangling.
But with my dad, it was singular leg
just one
came
leg
through,
ouch.
and that's why he didn't fall through.
I mean, I love that for him. I'm glad he's
I love
okay.
it for him too.
Yeah.
What's so funny is when I go home for Thanksgiving, I know for a fact one of my jobs, been doing it for 30 years, is going to be to bring up the Christmas boxes from the basement storage area.
Oh, I hate that.
I need to stop telling everyone where my family keeps our old things at.
They're like, damn it, I really wanted that old Christmas tree.
I mean, it's the Midwest, and so the bathroom you poop in is right off the kitchen. Mm-hmm. The garbage can is right under the sink. Mm-hmm. Christmas decorations are in the basement, and childhood memories in the garage.
I love that for you.
I love it too.
Yeah.
Influential secrets.
These were all very influential.
And now they've been spilled. Remember how a second ago, and by a second ago I mean like 30 minutes ago, you were like, would you tell this father and ruin his entire life? And like
now
20 minutes later I was like, bag of cat hair.
Unhinged.
It's the duality of this podcast.
Yes. We like to talk about serious things and then say stupid shit.
I want those two different videos to boom follow up each other on TikTok when we eventually make reels of this. I'll have to let the editor know. This is what we want.
Well, I've been cutting them for him, so.
Oh, okay.
It's cheaper for us.
Nice. Oh, cool. Sweet. Fun.
Yeah.
Well.
What did she drop?
I don't know. I have no idea what she was able to pick up. I'm talking about Mel. All right. Well, friends, thank you. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I think this has been a fun episode for us. Mm-hmm. It's been a while since we've done an Am I the Asshole, it feels like. So this has been nice to get back to.
It's very low-key and easy for us. And also, if you're going to listen next week, that's about to start in
Oh, yes. Should I announce the theme?
You should.
Look at us, like, even
accidentally
remembering
out,
to do it.
how we're supposed to do that.
I just turn back. I'll explain later.
Okay.
The theme next week is going to be Lost and Found.
I'm warning you now, my episode is going to be true crime. I don't see any way around it in my head. So.
And I'm warning you right now, before we've even recorded it, you're going to like next week.
He texted me and was like, you're going to love this story.
In
He's
like the
never done
middle
that.
of the night, too.
Yeah.
I'm like, Maya.
I was like, Jesus Christ. Okay.
But until then, if you would like to reach out to us, you can find us on Instagram at Well I Laughed. You can also find us on TikTok at Well I Laughed.
You can also find us on YouTube at Guess now.
Is Well I Chuckle? Well, it's funny.
Well, I Giggled, I
Well, I
think.
Giggled. Nice.
And then
Sweet.
Facebook is Well, I Chortled.
Snorted. Well, I Laughed. You can email us at wellilaughdpod@gmail.com, and you can catch even more of us on Patreon, where we are Well, I Laughed Podcast.
Okay, bye.
I'm getting better at that speech.
You are.
Bye.